In today's 11th episode of the Sports and Psychology Podcast, we are jumping right into a question that one of my wonderful followers sent all the way from South Africa as a budding new basketball player hoping to play professional sports one day. And that's how to keep the motivation up, how to keep motivation going even when you've been rejected. So whether you're an athlete, a potential professional athlete, a business person, or just a human being, motivation is a topic that is interesting for all of us. So if you're interested in being more motivated, on having clearer drive for what you want to go out and do, then you're right where you want to be. Hello, buenos dias, dobrý den, ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome to the Sports and Psychology Podcast, the weekly Saturday morning pod where we talk all things athletes, tactics, performance, and most importantly, mindset. I'm your host, letting them three balls fly, Cord Thomas. I'm a mindset coach specializing in sports psychology, performance, stress, and anxiety reduction, and mental preparation, having helped hundreds of clients and tens of professional athletes exceed their potential, reach their goals, and lead fulfilling lives. After becoming a two-time Taekwondo Junior Olympic medalist and moving from the US to Europe to study and play basketball, I found my passion in the psychology of success. Before we hop into things, do me a favor, hit that follow button below the video or the pod to get updates on new episodes. And if you're here with me on YouTube, hit me with that like and comment. Thank you for making the Sports and Psychology Pod your first Saturday morning listen. If you want to reach out and connect with me or join in our mailbag episode, you can find me on Instagram at athlete.m1ndset, Twitter athlete_m1ndset, or email me at sportsandpsychologypod@gmail.com. Let's hop into things. So first of all, listeners, I have to apologize to you. I meant to have episodes out for you the last 2 weeks, and I was sick, and then we were traveling. We went down to an amazing conference, an amazing congress in Rome, in Italy. If you're a listener from there and we met you in person, amazing. Thank you for listening. You did something amazing there. And my wife and I, we definitely enjoyed it very much. So that being said, I had planned to do a couple pods before we left. And I was sick and honestly didn't want to be sneezing and coughing into the microphone as I recorded a podcast. And I don't think any of you would have appreciated hearing that in your ears. So that being said, that's why I wasn't here the last 2 weeks. We are back on track though. We're going to be coming at you every single week now, hitting that Saturday morning pod. What's happening? Thursday was Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to those of you that celebrate it. A great time to reflect and think about what I'm grateful for in life. A great reason to be happy, a great reason to stop and reflect, which is always a good thing, always something that we all need. Other than that, we have the World Cup happening at the moment, and I'm going to be completely honest, with traveling and my workload, I'm having a tough enough time to keep up with basketball, let alone World Cup and soccer. So I'm going to leave that where it is. Hopefully I'll be able to give an update on something interesting happening next week. Something I do want to quickly touch on. Last episode, we talked about some effectivity with the brain. That was great. Trying to clear up things, trying to get that brain dump in. Before that, we talked about, I think in episode 8, Draymond Green and aggression. That was episode 8 or 9. We've seen something interesting in basketball with the repeated activity of Patrick Beverly going, and I don't even know if it's necessarily an expression of anger, but going and body checking, shoving people in the back. He's now been suspended for 3 games from the NBA for basically tackling, body checking another player that was turned to him. I agree with what Devin Booker said, which was, dude's got to stop shoving people in the back. I can't imagine anything more cowardly. Even if I was wronged by another player, even if I was hurt by another player, I can't imagine wanting them to be blindsided by my friend, by my player, by my teammate. There's something unfair. There's something morally wrong about going and hitting someone without having the space to even brace themselves for it. I think Patrick Beverly somewhere inside believes that what he's doing is right. That doesn't mean it is. We need to be able to reflect on our actions, reflect on our emotions, and choose the right moment to do things and choose the right actions in certain scenarios. Defending my teammate, absolutely. Defending my teammate in a reckless way that might hurt someone seriously, not great. Defending my teammate in a way that is going to get me suspended for multiple games, not great. So if we want to stand up for our teammates, that's fine. Let's do it in a way that makes sense. Ideally, take a minute, think about it. Stop, breathe, not in that moment, but beforehand, and say, what is a good way? What is a way that aligns with my values, aligns with my morals to help a teammate, to stand up for a teammate without hurting someone? Can I get up in someone's face? Can I get between them? Can I help my teammate up? Can I push them away from the front? Absolutely. Should I be shoving someone from behind? Probably not. So think about Patrick Beverly the next time you're in a situation where you want to defend a teammate, you want to help someone by hurting someone else or by physically involving someone else. See if you can't do it in a way that retains your integrity. Other than that, there is a lot happening in the sports world right now, but you're not here for news and updates. You are here to learn something about motivation, to gain something from this podcast. So we're going to hop right into that in the next segment. Stick with me. It is time to talk about stress. We're hitting the fall and winter season, family gatherings, heavy work schedules, exams, etc., and managing our stress levels is a necessity. Other than finding help from someone like myself to teach you techniques and manage your stress levels, an easy thing all of us can do is to just take a moment, take a deep breath in, release it, and say one thing that I was successful in today, and one thing that I'm grateful for today. By taking a second to reflect and to notice how we've been doing and feeling, we're going to give ourselves a small break from the constant anxiety and problem solving, clear our head, and be able to move forward calmer and more focused. So make sure to take a moment to reflect on yourself and how well you are doing today. For me, I'm grateful that I've had 4 clients already today. I've been successful in, after not having a full night of sleep after having a visitor, to tackle my goals and get this podcast done and really move forward with tackling the tasks on my to-do list, even though my body, even though my feelings are maybe saying, nah, you don't have to today. So that's what I'm successful in. That's what I'm grateful for today. You can do the same. It's okay to feel like we don't want to and still move towards our goals. We are back. And here in the second segment, we are talking about motivation. One of my listeners from South Africa, who is an aspiring professional athlete, wrote in on Twitter a question around how to feel more motivated, how to keep his motivation up after being rejected or not finding the answers that he's looking for. I get this question a lot with the work I do, both with athletes and with business owners or managers. How do I stay motivated? How do I keep my motivation going? How do I stay driven? I burn hot for something, I really enjoy something, and then I lose it. It's not easy. Motivation is something that comes and goes. So my first answer when it comes to the question of motivation is, what is my why? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Why do I want to reach my goal? What is not only the goal, but the vision? I'm going to ask you a few questions here. And if you have pen and paper, write them down. If not, it's great to think about and then maybe come back to it later with the pen and paper. So, question 1, when it comes to answering why I want to achieve my goal, why I want to become a professional athlete, why I want to continue going to a job that maybe isn't the most exciting thing in the world right now. why I want to achieve whatever goal it is that I want to achieve, why I want to continue producing a podcast, other than the fact that I really enjoy all you listeners coming, listening, gaining something from it. What do I want to prove? What do I want to prove to others, first of all? I might want to prove that someone from where I am can not only make it, but can be one of the best. I might want to prove that someone with my background can thrive, can overcome all the difficulties. I might want to prove that all the gifts I was given as a kid were not only worth it, but that I didn't waste it. Whatever that is, that's a great why. And that's part of the big equation. So it's not everything, but it's something to come back to. I want to prove to others something. I might want to prove something to my parents, that I can do something on my own. I might want to prove something to the world. So question number 1, what do I want to prove to others? To the world, to whoever. Question number 2, what do I want to prove or to show to myself? What do I want to gain from accomplishing the goal? If it's to become a professional athlete, maybe it's proving to myself that I have what it takes, that I have the skill, the drive, and the motivation. Maybe it's to prove to myself that I have a work ethic that's stronger than everyone else's. Maybe it's to prove to myself that I create my own destiny, that I choose what I want to do, and I don't let anyone else tell me what that is. Maybe it's just proving to myself that I'm worthy. I'm worthy of achieving my goals. If I believe that I'm worthy, I go out and do it, no matter how many times I'm rejected. So, question number 1, we have, what am I looking to prove to others? Question number 2, what am I looking to prove or to show to myself? Question number 3 in my why behind the motivation. How do I want to feel once I accomplish the goal? I think this is something that is missed a lot of times when it comes to motivation, but the feeling that we get from accomplishing a goal is really powerful. I want to feel like I have achieved something. I want to feel acknowledged. I want to lose the feeling of imposter syndrome, meaning I feel confident in who and what I am. I want to be someone who maybe I wasn't raised as. Be, live, feel in a different class level. I want to feel respected. I want to feel admired. I want to be listened to. I want to have attention. These are all things that are worthwhile and part of a great why. So take a minute, think about, what do I want to feel once I achieve this goal? Write it down. Question number 4 from my side, when it comes to answering what my motivation is, why I want to be motivated to achieve a goal. What do I want to happen once achieving the goal socially? What is the social component? Become a professional athlete because I want to be surrounded by better teammates who I can make even better. Become a professional athlete because I want to be challenged. Become a professional athlete so that I can go up against the best people in the world. Become a manager because I want to give people the opportunity to excel in using their own talents. I want to change my social group, meet interesting people, and see their interest in me and who I am. Whatever the goal is, there is going to be a social component to it, and it's interesting to add this to your why, on why you want to achieve that goal. One of the last and biggest questions for me when it comes to answering the question of why I'm doing something, and then keeping motivated, coming back to these things. What do I want to give to the world through achieving my goal? What do I want to accomplish in terms of giving back? If I become a professional athlete, I may be accomplishing the fact that everyone from where I come from sees that someone from our place can become a star, can become a professional athlete, can make something of their lives that is more than just what their parents did. Maybe I want to do it because I want a bigger social, political platform, an ability to speak towards things that are important to me, like equality or health, getting people to think about topics that are really important, and sports gives me that platform to do so. So taking a minute to think about what I want to not only achieve, but what it gives back to others is really interesting and is also going to be a major motivator moving forward. Really important when it comes to motivation is to look at what we are running away from and what we are running towards. I think something that gets lost when talking about motivation is that there are usually two kinds. We can either be negatively motivated or positively motivated. Negative motivation are, again, the things that I'm running away from, the things that I'm avoiding. I'm scared of something, so that's pushing me to do something with my life. I'm scared of having the same life as my parents, so that's pushing me to do something different. That's a negative motivator. A positive motivator would be something I'm running towards. I want to be a professional athlete because I love the sport. I'm more driven than everyone else. And I want to prove to everyone where I'm from that they can make it too. Wow, that's positive motivation. So we want to do our best to notice our negative motivations, but really drive the reinforcement towards the positive side. So I'm going to notice, well, I am maybe running away from a life that would be similar to my parents' lives, or a life that maybe wouldn't be so fulfilling and would be difficult. And I'm running towards a life that hopefully would be easier for myself doing something that I love. Fantastic. Why did I start the conversation on motivation with our whys? If we can answer the why behind the goal, we are a long ways towards achieving motivation, towards being motivated. And if we write it down, it's something we can always come back to. When we're not feeling motivated, we can read that and be remotivated. Hang it on your wall. Go back to it every few days. Read it. Go, oh yeah, this is what I'm striving for. This is what I want to achieve. When I don't feel like it, that's okay. I don't feel like it today, but 5 years from now, it's going to feel great, and I'm going to feel very accomplished, and I'm going to feel like someone who deserves it. Or I can give up. I can say, well, I've been rejected. That's it. In the third segment, we're going to deal with staying motivated through rejection, which is the direct question that our listener from South Africa asked. So stay with me. Let's hop into that in the third segment, and we will be right back. It is time for me to talk about my services. One of my favorite topics with clients is leadership, organizing and driving a team, setting standards, values, priorities, and a passion for success. This applies to both my athletes, coaches, and my non-athlete clients, such as the 5 to 6 business owners I have at the moment. I love helping owners and managers, as well as leaders of a sport, spend time and energy on what's truly valuable. Can you imagine? I had a new client come to me and tell me his own sports success was being derailed by the fact that all his energy just went into organizing and caring for the rest of his team. This is more common than you think. Then I have a whole slew of clients who either are supposed to lead and they don't, or don't know how, or they just don't have the respect of their team or the management or their colleagues. We do such amazing work together, and it's absolutely fantastic to see these people evolve and to see them outpacing their goals month after month. If this sounds like something you need, then reach out now. Send me a few sentences on what you're struggling with, and I'll tell you directly whether or not we would be a good match. And if not, I'll do my best to recommend someone who would. I work with athletes 15 years of age and older, and all other clients from 17 plus, and each session is only $60 until the end of the year. All of my sessions are completely personalized to your needs, whether that's online or in person. So take a look at booking a session directly at coachingpraha.com/bookonline, or reach out to me on Instagram at athlete.m1ndset, Twitter athlete mindset, or email me at sportsandpsychologypod@gmail.com. Welcome back to the Sports and Psychology Podcast. In the second segment, we covered motivation and what behind that motivation is driving it, which is the why. We covered 6-7 questions on answering what that why is. If you want to add more, dear listener, please go for it. Whatever you can come up with in terms of why you want to achieve your goals, that's going to help drive you forward. That is going to help motivate you. Here in the third segment, I want to really kind of deep dive on rejection, what it does to us, and some tips from my side on how to deal with it. I think, first of all, the idea of rejection is connected with the idea of failure. If I'm rejected, I consider myself as having failed. I consider the fact that someone doesn't want me. I take it personally a lot of times. I would like to cover an example of a client at this point to just give an example of why this is sometimes misleading. I had a client who went for an interview at a company and for a management position, and she was told that because of her previous experience in a large corporation, they aren't interested in having her manage at their company because they don't like people who have been in large multinational corporations. When she came to me, she saw it as frustrating, as upsetting that they weren't interested in her as a person. I asked her to take a step back, and I asked her, what does it say about them? What does it say about the interviewer that they're scared of someone who has worked in a multinational corporation? To me, it says that they're not ready for someone who has the amount of experience that she had. To me, it says that they're scared. To me, it says that they are worried that she's going to have higher expectations of the job than they are able or willing to deliver. Not always is rejection a negative thing. Sometimes it's a compliment. And in this case, it was very much a compliment. If we're not getting the kinds of offers, and I work with some athletes that are looking to move up to the next level, either university or professionally. If we're not getting the kinds of offers that we would be looking for, sometimes it's a compliment. Sometimes it's a school saying, we don't believe in ourselves enough. We don't have the capabilities to deal with this kind of athlete, with this kind of person. Sometimes it's a lack of understanding. Sometimes it's just not the right fit. Going through an interview process of any kind, what I'm looking for are common values. I'm looking to accept it from both sides. And ideally, we're coming in from a place of, I'm looking for the best fit for me. Not, I'm desperate, please, please, please accept me, and if you don't, I'm going to be crushed. If we come into interviews, discussions, looking to move up in life, with the idea that we are interviewing the other side as well, that's going to really, we are making a choice for ourselves. That's going to really change how we react from it. We're going to see, yeah, maybe this sat well for me, but maybe for them it didn't. Maybe I'm not a good fit for their program. Maybe I'm not a good fit for their company. And that's okay. I can take that. What I can't take is they didn't like me for who I am. They didn't respect me and my work. That's not necessarily what's being said, and oftentimes it's not. So really take a look. And if it's they don't think I'm good enough, they don't respect me, see if we can at least get the feedback and see what would need to change for them to make it a yes, to turn it into a yes. And maybe we can use that down the line with someone else. Maybe there's nothing we can do because it's really just not a good fit, in which case we continue searching. So first of all, I think when it comes to these kinds of things, interviews, searching to move up, mindset going in is very important. Once we've been rejected, I think it's really important to go back to our whys, to stay motivated. I also think it's really important to accept the feelings we're having, to accept the fact that It doesn't feel good to be rejected. That's okay. That's normal, dear listener. Yes, it hurts to be rejected. It hurts to be told no, especially if it's something we want with all our being. They can see that passion. They're not rejecting your passion. They're not rejecting your work ethic. They're rejecting something else, and that might be their own limiting belief. Their own limiting beliefs that we need athletes who are tall. We need athletes from a certain country. We need athletes with certain education. We don't believe that from certain places athletes are going to thrive in our environment. Do you hear that those are their problems, not yours? You can find someone who's willing to take you on. You can find someone who will be a better fit and willing to work with you and where you're from and drive you forward and help you through that instead of being judged. So don't let other people's limiting beliefs get in your way of achieving your goals. So sitting with the feeling of being rejected is okay. And then I would challenge you to do your best to turn it into motivation, to add it to your why. I'm going to prove to every single person who rejected me that they made a mistake. I'm going to prove to every company who didn't hire me that they're going to offer me one day a salary that was 5 times what they would have offered me if they took me on now. I'm going to run that company that didn't offer me one day. Whatever it is, motivate yourself with those rejections. Take it and say, okay, that's fine. You're not ready for me. That's okay. But one day you will see it and you will regret it. Wow. What a motivator. What a drive to say, I'm going to go out and work out now. Rejected, work out. Told no, okay, not a problem. I will find my way through. I will achieve my goals. And it's okay. It's okay that you told me no. You'll see one day that was a mistake. Turn the negatives, turn the challenges in life into your biggest motivators. Every single successful person knows how to do this. So if you're feeling rejected, if you're feeling unaccomplished, if you're feeling like you're not moving towards your goals how you would expect to, that's okay. Accept it, write it down, write down your frustrations, and then write down how you're going to prove it to them so that they will regret it one day. And then let that drive you. Let that push you forward. Every time you step on the court, every time you step onto the field, let that come out. Show who you are and show that you are worthy, that you are good enough, and that those people couldn't see it, and that is their problem. Motivation is a fun topic for me. We struggle with it because in many ways being motivated is an emotion, but it's supported by our goals. It's supported by our whys. It's supported by our values and who we are. It's supported by our culture, and it's supported by all the people who have supported us, and it's supported by all the people who haven't. We can turn pretty much anything into motivation. All it is a mindset and a choice. So take that mindset. Take the challenged mindset. Turn every hater into a reason why you will succeed. I hope that you've had a great time with me here discussing motivation, discussing our whys, and how to deal with rejection. If you have other ideas, comments, or just completely disagree with me, that's surprising today, but make sure you send me an email at sportsandpsychologypod@gmail.com, and I will definitely respond. I think it's great to know that if we really put in the work and the time to think about our motivation, to look through our whys, to set it up, to set our mindset up right, we are creating motivation for ourselves and an ability to stay motivated. And we can go in every single day and give it our all. Thank you for listening or watching here on YouTube to the Sports and Psychology podcast. Please tell your friends if you like this pod. I am streaming every Saturday morning everywhere you can find podcasts, as well as on YouTube. If you want to get your questions into a mailbag or a whole episode like this one, or just give me your thoughts, ask a question, what have you, give me a comment below on YouTube or reach out on Instagram at athlete.m1ndset, Twitter, athletem1ndset, or email at sportsandpsychologypod@gmail.com. Do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure to leave that 5-star review on Apple Pods and on Spotify. And in the words of Blazers rookie Jabari Walker, don't let today get the best of you. Get the best of today. Have a great weekend, everyone. Talk next week.